My name is Nate Maingard. I'm a singer-songwriter from South Africa, Cape Town, now living in London. I started playing actually kind of late for my family because my father is a lifelong musician and I could have started playing at any time, but I started playing really when I was about 14 because my best friend started playing at school, and as soon as I started playing I started writing because I've always loved lyrics, so yeah, 14 I guess is when it all kind of began. Let's see, passionate, deep, and catchy, I think. I'm definitely inspired by the singer-songwriters of the 60s and 70s, and then the kind of modern indie folk movement. So I would say Tallest Man on Earth is one of my top songwriters who I admired. Another guy, Josh Ritter, John Lennon, Bob Marley. Those people all, I think, write and play music that is important and meaningful. So that's what inspires me. Okay, so Music Razor is one of the new websites which is helping artists or people who want to run projects to raise the funds for those projects. And Music Razor is based in Italy and they're focused specifically on musicians, which is different to the other websites. And they actually approached me a while ago and said, hey, if you want to ever fundraise, we'd love it if you did it through us. We like your music and we think you'd like our website. So I did. I raised just over £2,000 to record my EP, which I'm working on now. And it's 4 tracks, and I'm fortunate enough to be working with some incredible artists and session musicians and producers here in London. So that's why I needed the money, and I'm really grateful that I could do it through crowdfunding. I think it was in the end 81 people who believed in my music enough to assist with finances towards that. And then they get rewards out of that, like signed EPs, and I write them poems or handwritten lyrics or teach them a song over Skype or different things like that. So yeah. Yes, I would definitely recommend crowdfunding to other artists. I think it's the future of music, and if of in fact sort of creativity, because it allows us to stay free and able to do our art in the way we want to, while just having direct access to the people who are going to enjoy that. So yeah. In the process of, yeah, I came to London because I wanted to work with a specific healer and teacher who I'm working with and having really positive results. It's a long-term process though. I mean, the injuries I did to myself took me 10 years to do, so it's going to take me a couple of years to repair. So yeah, but definitely feeling positive about that. Oh man, well it's actually known as the Mother City, and I think I would have to say that that's a big part of what it means to me. It's got a beautiful variety of ocean and mountains and wilderness and small community and big city, and it's all kind of mixed in to a very small area. And so for me, Cape Town will always be, whenever I say the word home, I think Cape Town will be a part of what I'm thinking about then.
Awesome.
Why did I join the End Monsanto movement? Because I think that there is a very dangerous move in current society where money and power mean more than individual growth and community growth.
Mm-hmm.
And people like Monsanto have things where they'll have seeds that they've genetically modified that you can buy those seeds from them and plant them, but those plants will never reproduce. So you get one season's worth of growth out of them and then they die and you have to buy them again from Monsanto. So what they're doing is creating an entire business model where they're fully in control of the world's food supplies. And they've gotten pretty close to success actually. And I think I joined the movement because I want to be one of the people who helps us to reclaim food, which is rightfully ours and should never be taken away from us. We should be able to grow our own food and choose organic and choose wholesome and choose natural anytime we want. And it's big corporations like Monsanto which are trying to control us in that way, and I disagree with that. What makes me think I'm a free thinker? That's a good question. I I think for myself, I try to make decisions based on my own subjective experience of the world. So when I'm given information, I have to filter that information through my own filters, through what I've experienced and what I know. So instead of just trusting and accepting what I'm being fed by mass media or by our education or by the structures that have conditioned us, that are designed to condition us to think and feel a certain way, instead of just going along with that, I choose to inform myself about as many different opinions as possible so that I can then make a decision which I feel is an informed decision and therefore a freely thought out decision. Yeah, I think that's probably why I'm a free thinker, I suppose.
Thank you.
Okay, so the thing that I enjoy the most about playing live and the experience of an audience is definitely connection, because all my songs are extremely personal. So I write about my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own experiences, stories which I've made up which feel important to me to be spoken. So if I play in a bar full of people where they're all talking and drinking and I'm the background music, I have no connection and there's no conversation happening. So the most amazing thing that I can hope to experience is to have an audience who is really present with me and is allowing me to communicate my stories with them, because then we have a conversation, and what then happens is that they come to realize that my stories are like their stories and that we're all actually experiencing very similar things, although the details are different. We have these big kind of experiences which are, you know, like truth and love and loss and hope and fear. Those are all things that we all go through. It's just the details are different. So when I really connect with an audience, we all have an experience where we suddenly feel like we're not alone because we're all experiencing the same things. And that's a part of, I think, probably one of my favorite things is to really connect with my audience and to have us all realize together that we're in it together.
Yeah.
And then there's a community spirit that goes with that. I would say don't do it unless you absolutely love it. Don't do it for fame, don't do it for money. But if you, I read one of my favorite authors, poets, is a man named Rilke, who was alive, I think, in the early 1900s. And one of the things he says about art is that, or writing, but it applies to all art, is that you have to go and think quietly and decide if you could live without doing that thing. And if you could live without doing that thing, then don't do it. But if you know in your deepest being that for you, that's what you absolutely have to do, then you can do it. And so I would say to anyone who's aspiring to be some kind of an artist or a musician, that first decide what your reasons are and then do it from the deepest truth that you have, and try in the best way possible to speak about the most personal experiences you have in a way that everyone can relate to.
Okay.
So I'm performing anywhere that gigs come up. I'm playing on the 31st of July at the Balam. I'm not sure exactly what area that is, but you can always find my gigs on my website. So it's just natemaingard.com and NateMaingard.com, and go to shows, and I always put my shows up there, or on my Facebook page, or if you just Google my name, you'll find whichever way you want to connect with me.
Oh, thank you for your time, Nate.
It's my absolute pleasure. Thanks for the interview.